Hello everyone, welcome to the Health Chat at Nanavati Max Super Specialty Hospital. Today we have with us Dr. Balkrishna Parte. Dr. Parte is a director and head of hematology, hemato-oncology and BMT, which is bone marrow transplant here at Nanavati Max Super Specialty Hospital. He has more than 16 years of experience. He has acquired his training from topmost hospitals of the UK such as London University College Hospital, Hammersmith Hospital, St. Mary's Hospital and the Royal Free Hospital. He has secured very prestigious degrees such as MRCP, FRC Path and CCST from the prestigious Royal College of Physicians and Pathologists, London, UK, followed by a successful stint at the UK at various successful and great organizations and medical institutes. After coming to India in 2012, Dr. Parte has established modern bone marrow transplant unit and developed hematology department at one of the most prestigious private hospitals of Mumbai. He is a reviewer from British Medical Journal (BMJ). He is also secured first rank in medicine (MD Medicine) at University of Mumbai. He is the member of Royal College of Physicians (UK), European Hematology Association, American Society of Hematology, Indian Society of Bone Marrow Transplantation and Indian Society of Hematology and Blood Transfusion. He is a regular examiner for hematology at Maharashtra University of Health Sciences and he is also a tutor for university fellows. So very warm welcome Dr. Parte, and let's start off with our discussion. So our topic of discussion for today is bone marrow transplants and what are the nitty-gritties or complications that are involved in it. So to start with, we'll take the first question. What is bone marrow and stem cell? Are they similar or what are the differences that are there in it?
So bone marrow is the spongy tissue that we see in the long bones, and the stem cells are the cells. There are various types of cells that are in the bone marrow where the blood is manufactured. So in the blood there are three types of cells: red cells, WBCs, which are white cells, and platelets. All these cells are manufactured in the bone marrow, and there are specific types of father cells which are called stem cells, from which all these normal cells originate. So when things go wrong in these stem cells or in the bone marrow, there is always a manifestations of that in the blood. So if there are cells that are reduced, then you say patients have got anemia, which is low hemoglobin. If they have low WBC count, then you call it leukopenia or low WBC count. Or if they have low platelet count, you call it thrombocytopenia. So all this cell production happens in the bone marrow, which is a factory of these blood cells. If things go wrong in the bone marrow, these manifestations occur. Now there are certain situations where genetic changes can occur which manifest into abnormalities in the stem cells or origin of these cells, and they either lead to excessive proliferation, which can lead to things like cancer or blood cancer, or there is reduced productions of these cells and things like aplastic anemia, diseases like aplastic anemia patients can develop. So these diseases originate from the bone marrow, and this is a spongy tissue in the long bones where these diseases can occur or originate from.
Moving on, sir, can you tell us how blood cancer occurs and what are the risk factors associated with it?
Yes, you might have heard that blood cancer occurs from childhood till very late in ages. So there is a specific type of genetic alteration that happens in our physiology or in body. There are multiple genes that are responsible for normal production of cells. Now when there is alteration in one of these genes, it manifests into excessive production or reduced production of the blood cells. If there is an excessive production of these cells, it can lead to blood cancer. And there are two types of blood cancer. One is acute leukemia or acute blood cancer, where patients become really unwell over a very short period of time. And then there are chronic blood cancer or chronic leukemias, which occur over a period of time. The common symptoms of this blood cancer in patients are they become tired, lethargic, they are not able to do their day-to-day activities. Some patients can develop bleeding from their nose called epistaxis because of low platelet count. Patients start losing their weight, people lose appetite, they don't want to eat anything. These are the common symptoms that patients present with. Majority of time, acute leukemia occur over a period of days to weeks. So people who are working on their work scenarios on Friday, suddenly start feeling very unwell on Sunday. They do a CBC or a blood count on Monday, and then they have very low platelet count. That's how they come to a doctor, and you do investigations and then find that they have got acute leukemia. Acute leukemia patients require hospital admissions and infusional type of chemotherapies. While chronic leukemia occur over weeks to months of period, majority of these patients present with constitutional symptoms like weakness, tiredness, lethargy. Incidentally, they have done a blood count and you see that their WBC count is very high or platelet count is marginally low, for example, and during investigations we find that they have got chronic leukemias. Majority of chronic leukemias have very good long term survival and requires tablet form of treatment. So these investigations are done on a OPD basis and they are treated with tablet form of treatment. So all these leukemias, either chronic or acute leukemias, nearly 80 to 85% of those are treatable. Quite a few of those can be curable by different interventions, including treatments and bone marrow transplants, etc.
Next question, sir. How does bone marrow transplant help in treating the blood cancers?
So if you look at the origin of blood cancers, it originates from stem cells. Stem cell is the father of all the blood, normal and abnormal blood factory. So if things go wrong in the bone marrow, they originally go wrong in the father cells called stem cells. Now, if you have to treat or cure bone marrow diseases completely, you need to get rid of the abnormal stem cells and put a normal stem cell back in. So, that's the only way you can completely cure leukemias. So, in acute and chronic leukemias, you have treatment to get rid of the manifestations of leukemia in the form of high WBC count. When you do that, we reach a point where there is undetectable leukemia in the blood and in the bone marrow. However, these stem cells are still there from where the bone marrow disease or bone marrow cancer has originated. Now, if you remove that stem cell completely and if you replace that with a normal stem cell, you practically say that you have eradicated the disease from origin, and that is the role of bone marrow transplant. So, after achieving a certain type of remission, what that means is that after reaching a stage where you have undetectable disease, you remove the abnormal stem cell by giving some form of stem cell toxic treatment, and then you replace that by a normal stem cell. And there are two types of bone marrow transplant, autologous and allogenic. What does autologous mean? Autologous is in the patient with bone marrow cancer or bone marrow diseases. Not all stem cells are cancerous. So if we can identify normal stem cells from the abnormal stem cells and remove the normal stem cells, keep them in a bag, and then get rid of the abnormal stem cells by giving stem cell toxic medicines, empty the bone marrow and then put the normal stem cell back in and repopulate the bone marrow with those normal stem cells from the same person, that is called autologous bone marrow transplant. And that kind of a transplant is used in multiple myeloma, lymphoma, high grade, low grade lymphomas, etc. And then there is other type of bone marrow transplant, that is called allogenic bone marrow transplant, where the number and quality of stem cells in diseases like high grade leukemias, acute leukemias is very poor, in the sense majority of these stem cells have become cancerous. In that circumstances, the risk of relapses, these leukemias coming back after treatment, is very high. Patients have practically lost the immune response against these leukemias. Then it is better to get the stem cells from a normal person who has never had got cancer previously and replace this bone marrow by these normal stem cells from another person, and that is called allogenic bone marrow transplant. It is classically used in patients with high grade leukemias, particularly acute myeloid, acute lymphoblastic leukemias, where after receiving chemotherapy we achieve a complete remission or undetectable disease, and at that stage we intervene by taking stem cells from a normal person, empty the bone marrow by giving further chemotherapy and replace the bone marrow with a normal stem cell and repopulate the bone marrow by that normal stem cell from another person, and that is called allogenic bone marrow transplant. Allogenic bone marrow transplant can be from a sibling, where a brother or sister or a father or mother in exceptional circumstances also serves as a donor, or it can be from an unrelated donor. So there are where in situations where you cannot find a suitable donor in the family, in that circumstances we request an unrelated donor from somewhere in India or outside India. There are willing donors who are registered with unrelated bone marrow donor registries. We request them to donate. They are willing to donate. In that circumstances, we take stem cells from those donors and replace the stem cells of the patient from those healthy stem cells to actually repopulate the bone marrow and get rid of leukemia. So that is unrelated donor bone marrow transplant. Very, very rarely, when a suitable unrelated bone marrow donor and a family donor is not available, then we can do a half match transplant where a sibling, brother or sister or mother or a father serves as a donor, which is only 50% match. But there are ways of manipulating the immune system to accept that half match and repopulate the bone marrow from those half match stem cells and cure the disease as well, and that is called half match or haploidentical transplant. And when all these options are also not there, very rarely we use umbilical stem cells, umbilical cord stem cells we from received from the blood from the cord banks. These are rare transplant and can be associated with complex complications, particularly the umbilical cord cell transplant, which is rarely used in these scenarios. So these are the types of bone marrow transplants.
Thanks a lot, sir. That was an extremely brief answer. So, sir, for such a complex procedure, I'm sure there must be a list of precautions or tests that you need to do prior to the transplant. So, can you tell us a little about that?
Sure. So not only for the patient, but also the person who donates the stem cell, we need to make sure they are fit for the procedure. So first we look at the donor. So the donor can be a brother or a sister or an unrelated donor. We run battery of tests on the donors to make sure not only that they are fit to undergo the process of donation of stem cells, but at the same time we do not transmit incurable disease from the donor to the patient. So in that circumstances, we run fitness investigations which include the heart function, kidney function, liver function to make sure that they are going to tolerate the procedure of harvest. Harvest procedure is where the patient, the donor is put on a dialysis type of a machine and their blood is circulated in that machine and the stem cells are isolated from the blood into a bag. Patient donors need to be fit for that procedure because there are certain types of injections that are given before the harvest procedure and that can increase your WBC count. At the same time, we run virology tests like hepatitis B, hepatitis C, HIV type of test on the donors to make sure they are negative for all these viruses and these viral infections are not transmitted to the recipient or the patient.